Tap in, tap in, tap in. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Yes, let's tap in. Set Free Sisterhood here. You guys join the live. Join the live. Set Free Sisterhood is on tonight with a message. Get in on this conversation tonight. Get in on this conversation tonight. Let's go. Let's go. Alrighty. One of our directors already here joining us. Hello, hello, hello. We have Miss Beautiful Ashia here on the. You guys, please do us a favor and drop some fire, share it with a friend, share it with the aunt, share it with a cousin, share, like and share this live. Tonight's conversation will be great. It will be, of course, moving in all aspects. It's about vulnerability. Why people do not like to be vulnerable. Why people do not like to be vulnerable. And you know, we have some backup questions along with that as well. So go ahead and drop some fire in the chat. Let's like it up, share.
Come
Like
on in the room.
in the room. Where is Miss Whitney, honey? We need our good sister on here. Is this view okay how I'm sitting?
Yeah, but when the sun go down, you look like you're gonna be dark.
The sun already down. It's foggy outside.
Oh, no, you okay?
I'm okay.
She said
She
for her.
can't put me on. She got to send a request because it's not allowing me. So I'm trying. I've been trying for the longest.
Like, tag, share the broadcast, because let's be honest, we have all been going through it. Okay, the enemy is busy, and we just want you to know that you are not alone in your journey. You are not alone in your situation. You are not alone in what you are going through right now. So tell your mama, your cousin, your sister, your brother, come on, join the live. If we are helping you, let us know. If you like what you see, okay, give us some hearts, motivate us, pump us, because this time we are really pushing right now to even get on here and give this broadcast. We are here to be vulnerable, to be transparent with you. If you like something, if you hear something you like, comment, let us know. Let us know that you're there. Don't just be watching, okay?
It's not
with
letting
us.
You're going to have to send a request. Please send a request, Plain Jane.
We want to hear from you too. We want to hear what you like. Give us some feedback, okay? Because we pushing through. We need your help. We need your empowerment. We need you push, okay?
Yep, this thing is really, come on. We got things to say tonight. Now my mama trying to call me. I can't right now. Not right now. Shia, can you add anybody? Can you add?
No, I can only request.
She's like, it's not giving me the option. How? This is crazy.
Enemy, you is not winning today.
Not
what do you see?
It won't let me. I can't find Whitney name at all. I can't find Plain Jane at all in my when I'm trying to add to the
you
live.
See her in the comments? You see her comment?
There she go. There she go.
Okay.
Come on, baby. Come on in.
Oh, yeah.
Sister, you here? Are you here, sister?
Listen. Oh, Satan, we bind you. Satan, we bind and we rebuke you in the mighty name of Jesus, because you've been coming at my neck all day, okay? You've been coming at my neck trying to have your way all day. And Satan, you got to get up off of this one. You got to get up off of this one, because I plead the blood of Jesus. I plead the blood of Jesus over the airways. I take control over the airways. I take control over the atmosphere right now in the mighty name of Jesus. Satan, you won't win. You won't win, because guess what? We live, sugar. We back in action, sugar. We still showing up in in spite of everything that we've gone through today, in spite of the hell and high water that we just entered, okay, we still showed up. So Satan, take that. Huh? Somebody comment and tell hell that you won.
Come
Somebody tell
on.
hell that you won, because he's be upset. And baby, if I was you, Satan, I would be too. Okay? Listen, I'm here.
That means
Hey y'all.
tonight is gonna be so good. Okay.
Listen. Because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this live and I'm like, Lord have mercy, it's not even letting me join the live. Like it's not even giving me the option. It's not even giving me the option to join. Okay. So hell, I'ma just let you know now that I won. You're looking at a victory. You're looking at a victory. Okay. You might have thought I was defeated. Just for a second. You might have thought I was defeated, but hell, I won. So yeah, let's get into it, because today's topic is something that is needed. We're gonna be talking about vulnerability. Okay, and that's a topic that is very touchy. That's a topic that most people can't stand to talk about, because vulnerability is always seen as a sign of weakness. But I am here to let you know that in your weakness, God's strength is made strong. He is powerful in our weakness. And in our weakness, not only in our weakness, we get to see pieces and just different versions inside of us that so oftentimes we sweep up under the rug. So oftentimes we don't want to deal with. We don't want to look at. The worst thing that people hate doing is sitting with themselves. People hate sitting in silence, because it forces you to sit there and take inventory over the thoughts of your mind. It forces you to sit there and deal with yourself. Deal with the things that you've been putting on the shelf, sweeping under the rug, the things that you have been putting behind you, trying to forget. So we're talking about vulnerability. And before we talk about vulnerability, I want to give you the definition of vulnerability. And vulnerability is it's susceptible to physical or an emotional attack or harm. And let me just say, even though this is the Google definition, I do not like this definition, because they make it seem as if being vulnerable, that means like you've been attacked or you've been harmed. And so I had to go and I had to look a little deeper as to what susceptible meant, because I didn't know. And susceptible means likely or liable to be influenced or harmed by a particular thing. And this makes me feel like if you be vulnerable, you're likely to be influenced or harmed by your vulnerability. So we just want to go ahead, even though I gave you that definition, I just want to go ahead and erase that, okay? And I just want to say being vulnerable is allowing someone to see you through your lens.
Yes.
Okay, so me being vulnerable is me allowing you a chance to look at me from within, how I view things, giving you an inside look at my perception, what it is that I'm viewing this situation, what am I making it to be, how it feels to experience it through my lenses, right? And a lot of times when we be vulnerable, that often includes you showing up in a way that's uncomfortable. That includes you showing up in a way that you got to lay down your arrogance. You got to lay down that confident, that strong woman, that strong man. You got to lay down all of that. I got it. I don't need nobody. You got to lay all of that stuff down, and you have to allow somebody to see your heart. To see your heart, and seeing your heart, trusting your heart. The Bible tells us to guard our hearts, right? So the very mere fact that I'm allowing you to see my heart is not an easy thing to do, because I'm trusting you in a way that honestly I don't even know if I trust myself with. I haven't even sat down with all the pieces of me and I'm sitting here giving you the pieces of me that I haven't even really came to, like, okay, Whitney, this is you, this is you. I haven't even came really to a understanding of all that I am and all that I even have yet to be. So to allow you to see me and my mess and my insecurity and my doubts and my fears, I don't know what you're gonna do with that.
Yes.
I don't know what you're gonna do with that. I don't know if your view or your perception of me may change. I don't know
Yes.
if I can trust you to still love me the same. Hello, can we talk about it? I don't know.
Yes. Let's
So
talk about
what does it look like to be vulnerable? Before we get into that, I just want to say, sisters, we here.
We
Here. How does it feel to be here?
Mhm.
It feels better than it did before coming on. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest.
most
Because
definitely.
I kept questioning, are we going to be able to do this tonight? Are we going to make it? Are we really up to this? Do we really are we feeling it? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a push. It was a pull. It was a pride to even get ourselves together to get on the camera, to get on this
Yes.
call. Because
Yes.
let's be honest, we going through it, baby. We gonna be vulnerable. We going through it, baby. From every aspect. Life is throwing hard balls. The enemy is busy. I know y'all know what's going on in the world, but let's be honest, what goes on in the world is only an after effect of what's even going on in the spirit. So you be
Yes.
feeling these feelings and emotions that don't even know what you're feeling, but it's a lot going on. So we just wanted to even show up to show y'all that, even sometimes it's a push. You have to push yourself to get up. You got to push yourself to do what you need to do. You got to push yourself even when it's hard. Even when all you want to do is curl up in the bed and weep and weep and weep. Okay, it's been a week. That's been the week. That's been the theme of the week.
Yes.
Okay, so we're showing up so that you're able to see that it's okay to not only push through what you're going through, but we're here to be vulnerable so that you know that you're not alone. Yeah.
Listen, you know what? The vulnerability, one thing about me, honey, I've lived I'm open. I'm an open book. You want to know something about me? You want to know my mistakes? You want to know my fears? You want to know my insecurities? Listen, I'm an open book to tell it all at this point because that's just where I am in life. You know what?
Yeah.
I feel like the vulnerability is going to allow me to be able to tell my testimony from my experiences, from my point of view, from how I felt, from what it made me feel, all the feelings and emotions, the doubts, those voices that can talk in your head at times when you are at your most vulnerable state or you are at a low state. You know what? It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to relive it, especially when you know that you've healed from it and you know that you've overcome it. You're on the other side of it now. I can talk about the vulnerability. I can talk about mistakes that I've made in my life. I can talk about the pain that I've experienced in my life. I can talk about the insecurities that I had in my life. I can talk about the mistakes that I made. I can talk about it. And I just thank God today, right now, today, because when I tell you I'm going through it, I'm going through it. But guess what? I'm going to push through it too. As I'm going through it, I'm going to push through it and I'm going to be vulnerable about every step of the way, because that's
Yeah.
just how God wants us to be. And we just think about why people don't like to be vulnerable. Sometimes people don't like to be vulnerable is because they're in fear of people judging them. They're in
Yeah.
fear of rejection. If I tell you who I truly am, or if you know these things about me, can I uphold the reputation that I got people thinking about me? Listen, I don't care about the reputation about what you think about me. I only care about what God thinks about me. I only seek for his approval, not for man. So there's going to be so many phases and different things and stages in life that you go through. And some of it can be embarrassing. Some of it you're ashamed. There's some things that I went through that I've been ashamed of. But guess what? I'm going to be vulnerable and talk about it. I ain't going to hide it. I'm going to let it out the closet because people love to be able to say, oh, I got something on you. I'm going to tell everybody.
Ooh, they love that tea, honey.
Tell
They
them
love that tea.
they love that. Tell them because I can tell them first. Tell them because it can come out of my mouth too. It doesn't have to, and sometimes when you're being vulnerable, people think that because you're being vulnerable, if there were other parties involved in the situation, it's as if you're trying to ruin their reputation. No, I'm not trying to ruin your reputation. I am trying to bring awareness and speak my truth on what I encountered, what I experienced. So you cannot be upset with people for being vulnerable. You cannot be upset with people for speaking their truth. I'm not speaking my truth for sympathy. I'm not being vulnerable for sympathy because I don't need sympathy. Don't sympathize with me. It's okay. God covers me. I know who I am now. So my mission, my purpose is to be vulnerable, to share my testimony, to let you know that, honey, if I can overcome it, you can overcome it too.
But
Amen.
So
what did you just say? You said you don't need sympathy, right? So even before we get into it, first of all, let me start by saying hello to all of our viewers, okay? I'm so happy that you joined us for another live of Set Free Sisterhood. Okay, we showed up and I'm happy you showed up too, sugar. Okay.
Come
So
on.
if you are watching this right now, please share, like, get this out. Share, like, if you under the sound of my voice right now, share this live right now. Just go ahead and share it. Go ahead and comment. Let us know you here. Let us know you viewing. Something that you said, Ebony, was I don't need your sympathy, right? And a lot of times that stops us from being vulnerable because so many times we want to be truly how we feel. A lot. Listen, emotions be running high,
mhm,
and life be lifing, and people be going through real life situations, right? And so many times, especially in the world that we live in now, we live in this picture perfect reality where you don't see people struggle. You don't see people cry. You don't know nobody who broke. You don't know nobody who's not, a content creator, who's not this, who's not this, who's not living a high life. You don't know nobody who's below. You don't know nobody who's going through real life situations because so many times it's viewed as life is perfect, right? And even us right now, we get on here and we show up, but baby, only if you knew what it took for us to show up. Only
exactly.
if you would have seen me a few minutes earlier before this live, okay? But the sympathetic part, you don't want people to feel like you need sympathy. I'm not being vulnerable for you to say, "Oh, poor Whitney, look at what she been doing." I don't want you to do that, okay? I'm being vulnerable because I'm a human. I'm a human having a human experience. I'm a human having a real life human experience. And it's so many people who a lot of times, they see my strength. They see me overcoming. They see me showing up and they think I'm always this. And so part of my job and my calling and my mission is to show the totality of who I am because I don't want you to idolize me or put me on a pedestal where baby I can't live up to your expectation. I will fail every time because I'm a real human being going through real life situations, right? So that vulnerable part is not so much for sympathy, right? But it's also for empathy, showing you that you're not alone in your struggle. Even if your struggle may look different than my struggle, I still struggle too. I still struggle too. So tell me something about that, Shia, where it's like you had to be vulnerable, but you didn't want it to come off as like people feeling bad for you or feeling sorry for you. You was had your hand out begging.
Baby, my entire life, okay, has been situations where I've had to be vulnerable. I never would have gotten help or received the help that God was trying to give me throughout my journey if I wasn't vulnerable with people. Me being
Mm.
vulnerable has and sharing my story, my testimony, even if it doesn't look like what other people would think, even if, the things that I was going through, people would have every answer in the book, but it wasn't what God was telling me. I had to my entire life in this journey, God has made me be vulnerable. Um, I'll say that one experience where God had me being vulnerable, um, even at the beginning of this journey, I realized how important it was to be vulnerable at the beginning of this journey because God had me talk about something. And what has always irritated my soul was seeing and hearing the stories in the black community about, oh, you can't say this, what happens in this house stays in this house, everything gets swept up under the rug. People don't like to face things, so then that goes into generational curses because what you don't speak on will not only keep you bound, but it will affect the next generation and the next generation. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
go through that. And we just gonna dive right in, okay? When I first started my journey, God told me that you have to be vulnerable because that's something that has always irritated my soul. People not sharing their experiences. You can talk about it in the dark, but you won't. Your story can be something that can help someone on their journey. Your story can prevent someone from going through something. Your story, can even help you heal. but you're holding on to it. You're wallowing in it.
Yes.
And just
Ooh.
knowing that, you have to let it go in order to, even move forward, even to move past it, because it's keeping you bound. It's keeping you in chains. And when I first started my journey, God revealed to me one morning that, and I've said it plenty of times, and it's a part of my story. When I was a child, I was molested as a child by multiple people. And when God revealed it to me that morning, God literally sent me just praying and praying against generational curses that came out of my mouth. And I'm like, Lord, is that a generational curse? And that's literally something that, I had locked into the back of my mind. But it's also something, when it was revealed to me, I was able to see how it connected to so many things, so many areas of my life, my sexual life. It connected to how I viewed myself. It connected to even my relationship with my father. It connected to, the way that I behaved and always wore jackets and long pants and just wanted to be in the shadows. It could affected so many areas of my life. And when God revealed it to me that morning, literally I got on a meeting after that, and God sent 7 different people, 7 different women confirmed to me that it had happened to them, like throughout the course of that day. Like 5 on the call. I had a meeting after the call, another meeting after the call, went to the church, had a meeting with somebody. They confirmed that it was a generational curse with them, and it was going between house to house. Another person I encountered that day confirmed to me that it had happened to them. And God was like, I need you to share this. I need you to be able, because this is something that people don't like to talk about. But one thing about being vulnerable, if you don't share, that's something that is holding you bound. That's something that's in the back of your mind. That's something that even the enemy can hold you hostage and keep you stuck and stagnant in the place where you are. He can keep you in that pain, in that sorrow, what you're going through. So when I actually, put it out there, it was so freeing being able to communicate it. And God then, he said, you need to share it. You need to go on Facebook. You need to share this live. But he said, wait, there's more. And literally after church, like a few days later, I was having a conversation with a relative, and in my car, and before they got out the car, I was like, I'm gonna just prepare you now. Like, you're probably gonna get a few calls because God told me to do this, and I'm about to do it. So you might get a few calls of someone saying, this what she just said or whatever. And then that was actually confirmed to me that it is a generational curse. It's something that has affected my family and affected my bloodline. But you wouldn't know that because no one ever talked about it. And when you don't talk about it, it just keeps going from one family member to the next, from one generation to the next. And now that I've put it out there, the enemy can't keep me held in that. The enemy can't hold me hostage. You can't say, oh, Shia, this don't happen to Shia, because I said it first. No one can say it better than I can say it. So you can say whatever you want to say about me, about my situation. What you have to say doesn't matter. What's your opinion or thoughts on anything, especially if it's not affecting my life, does not matter to me. The highest thing that matters is what God says. Because let's be honest, there can be repercussions that can come with you being vulnerable. There can be repercussions of people, even getting mad with you sharing your story. Oh, that's a family secret. You just putting our business out there, but that's just keeping the cycle going. So being vulnerable, I would say, is like even a huge part of my journey, but it's so necessary. And people don't understand. They don't want to they don't want to touch the old wounds. The wounds never heal, but you don't want to touch it, and even in order for the healing process to start. So it's important to be vulnerable and share your story and share what you were going through, because you never know who it might help. By me telling my story, that opened up other women to share and confirm to me that it had happened to them. That opened up the conversation and the dialogue for even people to start pushing towards healing in their process, just by me sharing and being vulnerable about a topic that people usually don't even talk about.
You know, That's so good, Sheila. And you know, we appreciate your vulnerability and you sharing your testimony and your story. You know, sometimes some of the reasons why people have a hard time being vulnerable because they sense a loss of control. They feel like they're losing control of the situation, and they're trying to guard themselves because that's something that, you know, I got to hold on to this thing. But you don't know that holding on to it is only allowing you to suffer more. You are not dealing with the root of the things, and that's what's going on with a lot of people. A lot of people are walking around hurt. A lot of people are walking around with their belly full of infirmities. Infirmities are things that are deeply rooted, that have hurt us, that have caused us pain. And sometimes people don't want to share because they fear that they will get hurt by opening up, and it will open up more pain. But the more you hold on to that thing, the more pain you will experience, because you have not let go. You have not relinquished it. You have to
Yeah.
relinquish that. You have to give that to God. Like you said, you went to God about what happened to you, and God showed you, and God brought other people to you that could relate to your story. So it made it easier for you to be able to share, because now you have a sense of, wait, I'm not the only one that's experienced this. This hasn't just happened in my generation. It happened in other generations before me. So I need to be the one to speak out about it. And sometimes it takes a lot for you to speak about what has happened to you in the past and what has caused, you know, you to be stuck. But again, what people don't understand, your trauma from the past will keep you stuck at a level where you can't grow. We want growth. When you get to a point in your life where you want to grow and you want to excel, you have to go back through your life cycle and be like, what is really holding me back? And those things of you not being vulnerable, not telling the truth, not sharing your truth, is what can hold you down. And nobody wants to be held down or bound. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I will be loose. I will be free. And all of that happened to me, I'm going to speak about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, so for me, vulnerability was opposite for me. Like it so for me, I always had a close little crew, you know, next to me. And I was so used to, as soon as something happened that I don't like, I'm going and I'm phoning in. You know, I'm telling it all. You know, I'm getting everybody else's opinion and advice, and you know, unsolicited, unwanted advice sometimes. But I'm inserting everybody else in a place in a void where only God belonged. So for me, it was the opposite. For me, being vulnerable, I remember when I used to call my friend when something happened, and you know how you just need to talk to somebody, and when she don't answer the phone, it's like, dog, like you just aggravated because you got to get it out. And I remember God telling me, why haven't you talked to me?
Mm.
So many times we run to people, and we're so quick to, you know, it's a really thin line, you know, because so many times we are quick to go on Facebook and tell the world. We are quick to go and post it on social media what we going through. You know, we're so quick to call and phone in a friend, but we can't phone in Jesus. We so quick to call our homegirls or our homeboys and tell them about our situation, but we won't insert Jesus in a space where only he belongs, because only he has the answers to be able to heal whatever it is that you're going through in the first place. So for me, I had to learn how to open up my mouth and give it to God, because I wasn't used to just really having that just open conversation with God. Like, God, I'm going through this right now, and this sucks. This really hurts. I feel as though in this moment I'm angry, or I'm weak, or I feel betrayed because I gave my all to this person. I put everything into this relationship. You know, I showed up. I showed up, and it's like this person did not show up for me. I had to learn how to give that to God, because for me, I was so used to being Miss Strong. You know, I was so used to being Miss Independent. I was so used to handling my own things. You know, I would run to therapy before I run to God. You know, I would run to my best friends before I run to God. And God had to take me through a season, which is a season I'm currently in, that I want so desperately, you know, to tell my testimony. I want so desperately to tell my side, and not only to tell my side, you know, for the other person, but no, to just to tell my truth, to tell what it is that God not only brought me out of, but what he's in the midst of sustaining me through. You know, I want people to know not only how to overcome, but how to do it, how to function while you in it. You know, and I'm waiting on God to give me the go ahead. And in the midst of me waiting on God to give me the go ahead, He's saying, I need you to lay that heavy load on me. I need you to cast your cares on me. I need you to tell me what it is that you're concerned about. I need you to tell me what it is that's bothering you. What it is, why are you crying? I find myself and this is a vulnerable moment because honey, I don't know why for this week or for the past couple of days I've been going through just mourning. My spirit has just been mourning. I listen, before we got on this live, you know, I was just telling my sister, like, I don't know why, but I feel like depression trying to creep up on me. And I'm binding, I'm rebuking, I'm renouncing, I'm casting that thing up off of me because I'm like, God, this don't belong to me. I don't know what's trying to attach itself to me, but I refuse to wear it. I refuse to carry it because it does not belong to me. And it's like, God, why am I feeling this? I had to take it back to God. God, why am I feeling this? Is it something within me in the crevices of my soul that maybe I have not dealt with? Is it something deep in within me that I have been sweeping up under the rug, that I have not been shining a light on, that you have not got a chance to really, you know, go in and plow the ground, that you have not really got a chance to go in and, you know, smooth things out? Like what is it that is still there, you know? And through that, God has been showing me how to build a more firm foundation in Him. It's the building of the foundation. The season that we're in right now, I believe God is causing a lot of people to build their foundation in Him because a lot of us have a relationship with Him, right? But when you have a foundation in Him, that means come hell or high water. That means come all of this mess that's going on in the news and with Trump and all of this stuff like that, you will not be moved. It shall not come near thee or thy dwelling because you abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So when we talk about, you know, vulnerability, sometimes God uses those hurts, those pain, that vulnerability to draw you in and more nearer to the cross.
You know what? This right here, I just want to shout out to Cassandra because I was just about to go there. She was saying that she never spoke about her hurt and disappointment with anybody because she think that people would view her differently because she's always had to be the strong one. Hello,
Yes.
that was me. That
That's
was
all of
me.
us.
She
That's
had
all
to
of
be the
us.
Yes, that's all of us because I had to be the strong one for so long. I carried a weight. I carried a heaviness. I carried a burden. I carried lies. I carried things that happened to me that I never even spoke about. And you know what? I had almost forgot about. And the Holy Spirit reminded me because I have you on this journey and because I have you on this assignment, you're going to be vulnerable and I'm going to bring it back to your memory. I'm going to bring
Yeah.
it back to you what was done to you so that you could
Yeah.
speak about it. When you're big and pregnant, you got somebody pulling out a gun on you and you pregnant. That completely went past me, but God brought it back to me because He said, that's something that you need to heal, but you need to be vulnerable about because you need to help other women be able to get out of those type of situations because you can leave. You can leave. You try to stick with it. I remember I had this thing in my head for so long again, and a lot of this comes from what you saw when you grew up, you know, different things like that. You walk around here and be like, oh, well, we ain't married yet, but we've been together for 10 years. We just like making you think that because it's the number of years that you've been there makes it a successful relationship, and that is not the truth. The things that you tolerated while you were in those years caused you hurt, caused you pain, built up so many things in you. You don't realize that that's where the health problems come from. You don't realize the things that attack you when you are holding on to things that you have yet to release. I thank God. Lord, I thank you for your deliverance. I thank you for changing the situation. And I also thank you for giving me a voice now that I'm able to speak out because I want to save lives in the process. I do not want other women to think that you have to stick it out. Stick it out for who? Stick it out for what? If you stick it out, you're going to hurt not only yourself, but if there's children involved, you're hurting them too. So don't stick it out. Don't stick through the pain. Don't stick through the trial. Don't stick through that when you need to be coming up with the exit plan. And sometimes it's okay for you to be vulnerable, because your vulnerability can also allow doors to open up for you so that you can have an escape plan, so you can
Yeah.
figure out what's next. That is
Yeah.
so important. That is so vital for us to understand as women. As we go through these cycles of life, different things happen. And I mean, and I'm not just talking about physical abuse. It could be verbal abuse, like Ashia pointed out. It could be molestation. It could be so many different things that you will go through and experience that you don't want to share. No, let's talk about it. Some people don't want to share the fact that they've been depressed or whatever. Talk about your depression, because you talking about it will bring awareness to somebody else so that they can figure out, okay, is that this feeling that I keep having? Is that those thoughts that I keep having? But and sometimes they can be relatable and be like, okay, well, she can't overcame that. Maybe I can ask her a few questions on what worked for her.
Mhm.
Or maybe she knows a good therapist that I can see where I don't have to be ashamed. I don't want to live in shame. You should not want to live in shame either. You should want to walk in your truth, live in your truth, heal in your truth, because that healing is going to bring you so much more power. You turn that pain into purpose. You do not let it control and dictate who you are, because at the end of the day, we are all human. The Bible says that we will all fall short to the glory of God. We all fall short. We all have mishaps. Things are always going to happen in our life, but it's how you handle the situation. It's how you adjust to it. It's how you're vulnerable to it, so that you can speak and somebody else can be touched and be changed through your experience. And I'm here for that. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
A lot of times we think that the very things that disqualify us, those are the things that qualifies us. The very thing
Mhm.
that you saying, like, oh no, God can't use that. Oh no, can't talk about that. Oh no, I don't want to tell nobody that. Those are the very things that qualify you. Those are the very things that make you relatable. Those are the very things that people need to hear to know that they're not alone. Because sometimes it's not always the physical abuse. Sometimes it's emotional abuse. Hello. I have suffered so much emotionally more than anything. I've never been, thank God, physically abused. But baby, the emotional abuse that I put up with from men trying to devalue me, from men trying to make me feel less worthy, from men who don't know their identity, so trying to diminish my light and who I am, from men who are not walking in their truth and in their calling. Can we talk about it?
Come
Like
on.
abuse, especially emotional, that gets inside of your mind. That gets inside of your mind. They say the mind is a terrible thing to waste. So
Yeah.
if I can get inside of your mind to make you think that you're less of, if I can get inside of your mind to make you think that you're not worthy, that you're not beautiful, that you're not enough, then I can stop you from your very purpose and calling. I can stop you from walking into the fullness that God created you to be. I can stop you from being on your God-given assignment.
Mhm.
I can deter you from where it is that you're supposed to go. So these stories have got to be told. So not only you know that you're not the only one going through it, but so that you also know that you can overcome. This is what an overcomer looks like. This is what
Mhm.
somebody who been there when they husband, when I was big and pregnant and my husband was around here cheating on me with every girl, that walked past him. This is what an overcomer looks like, giving my heart to somebody again just for them to stump on it. This is what overcoming looks like, trying to trust and do things God's way, and God just saying that, oh, he used it to make more of you, because he knew that if he wouldn't have used what happened to you, you wouldn't have kept going, because you got too comfortable in where you was. Can we really talk about it?
Yes, yes. You know what? You said something, Whitney. You said something about those thoughts, right? Because when you're dealing with people or you're in relationships, and sometimes it can happen. Maybe you're outgrowing each other, maybe you're just not on the same level or whatever, but sometimes you're dealing with a person or individual in a relationship, and they starting to make you check your self-worth by the negative things that they keep implanting in your mind. Listen, don't let your mind be the devil's playground based off of what somebody else is saying about you. That's why it's important to know who you are and whose you are and get in your word. Get in your word. God gonna tell you who you are. He'll tell you you're a daughter of the Most High. I'm the daughter of the Most High King. I can do anything. I can do all things. But when you don't know these things and you don't have anybody around you that's reassuring you and letting you know that, listen, that's not it for you. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are strong. It's okay for you to fall and get back up and pick up your pieces. It's okay for you to do that. So many people walk around embarrassed about breakups and different things that have happened in their lives because they're worried about what other people say. Listen, they talked about Jesus, so they're going to talk about me. They're going to continue to talk about me. And, and maybe something may happen and something may come up that's going to give them something to talk about. But that's not going to define who I am. What defines who I am is who God says I am, number one, but also what I think about me. What do I think about me? Am I going to let the words that you speak about me be my truth? Absolutely not. You got to know that, and you got to really dig deep and get deep within. Dig from what's within, because sometimes it goes so deep and the pain is so real. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel happy. It's okay. It is okay. It is okay, because whatever the outcome is, honey, listen, the tears falling, they flow. Whatever the outcome is, I know that I will have the victory, no matter what it looks like, no matter how bad it gets. The victory is mine because God said so, and I'm going to stand on that word, and I'm going to keep that right here, no matter what the situation looks like. So I'm just encouraging you ladies, gentlemen, whoever it is, stand firm, get in your word, get in a relationship with God so that you will know that nobody could put a value on who you are and how you withstand whatever trials and tribulation that you go through. Because, honey, one thing I know, I'm never alone. God is always with me. And if he allows it to happen, it was a part of his divine plan. Because there's something greater. There's something greater on the other side of what he allowed.
Come on. And I'm going to say, what even started my real relationship with God was me questioning my worth, because I was so used to going through so many things. I was used to growing up with, word curses being spoken over us. I've always been the person who I felt unworthy, but I would try to prove my worth because of my academics, because of things that I could offer, because of things that I would do. And it came to a point where I was literally like going through like relationships and just questioning God. I was at my lowest at the beginning of my journey. Like, my brother had just passed away, and I'm like, Lord, why am I here? Like, I feel like I'm not worthy of love. I've always been like different from my family members. Like, am I not worthy enough to be around them? Am I not worthy enough for a man who will actually love me besides my body? I'm the one who's pouring out everything, I'm the one who's giving. That's just my heart. That's just who I am. But am I not worthy enough for the good things in life? Am I not worthy enough to get past struggling? Am I not worthy enough? So that has even been, and now it's coming to me. That is why I struggle with even the things that God tells, the person who God tells me I am, the promises that he has on my life, because I've always struggled with my identity and my self-worth. I've struggled, when it came to, and sometimes we need a safe space, because when I started, one thing God did was disconnect me from someone who has been a part of my life for years, and that hurt me. That hurt me. But when I looked back at it, it was like, did I even have a safe space? I never had before that a safe space. Like, I can say this, I was always around this person, but it took for the separation for me to even see that this person don't even know me. You know nothing about my life. You know nothing about what I'm going through. So
Yeah.
sometimes, we have to get down to the low. We have to get down, to the desperate. I was questioning God, why am I here? And when those thoughts started going through my head and I went to thinking about leaving this place, it was something that was like, Lord, this can't be life. This can't be life. So that actually is what drew me closer to God, but it also helped me to seek therapy. Baby, when I started the relationship with God, God told me to go to therapy. I did only 5 sessions. And what really helped me, it was just me talking. It was me finally opening up and releasing. So sometimes even, you have to go to God and God will point you to the next direction, or God will point you to that next person who is able to be your safe space, who you're able to get vulnerable with, because of the fear of how people will perceive us. It's the what keeps us bound, what keeps us silent, the rejection, the comments from people from the family, because especially it's gonna come close from your family is the closest to you, so those are the ones who are literally going to be have so much to say, especially if you don't tell them, because family love to play telephone and to call everybody around the world, and your business be everywhere, by the end of the day. So sometimes you just have to even seek help outside of what's familiar to you, people who are familiar to you. You have to seek help from God, but sometimes you have to go to therapy. You have to have an outlet, because if you don't have an outlet, it's literally just bubbling up inside of you. And that has been my problem throughout my life. Like, I've always held off my emotions. I never really wanted to feel emotions. When death came, let me tell you, it usually took a week or two for me to even shed a tear. Because I've detached myself and my emotions from so many of my situations, and that played a major part even in relationships that I have had with people. There has been times where I just I used to call myself the soda pop, the soda bottle, or the volcano. Everything just ended up bubbling up until one day it just explodes, and I'm a whole different person, baby. I'm going off from A to Z. You gonna feel me? You gonna feel my pain and everything that was, festering up inside of me. So sometimes, we're afraid to be vulnerable because we feel like we don't have, a safe space. And in the Black community is always no new friends. I'm not letting nobody in. You can be connected to somebody else and you just afraid that it's gonna get from, or whoever gonna be talking. But sometimes you don't need to be worried all the time. You don't need to be worrying about what no one else has to say. You just
Yeah.
need to seek help. You need to worry about yourself and seek help, because no one can. You can lead the horse to water, but until you're ready to drink, nobody else can help you until you're ready to help yourself and get rid of the excuses, get rid of everything that is trying to put itself in front of you in your path, whatever the enemy is putting in your mind to even keep you from getting to that place where you can share. You just need to get rid of it. You need to be like, I want to live. I don't just want to go day by day. I want to live. I'm here for a
Yeah.
reason. Let me find out what this reason is, what my purpose is. Why am I going through this? Because you're going through it for a reason. Even if it's not for you, it's for your family, it's for your bloodline, it's for the generations to come. Maybe you are the chain breaker, you're the trailblazer, you're the generational curse breaker who has to face whatever you're going through head on, so that it stops, so that it does not continue to go on like it has for your entire bloodline.
Yeah.
And let me tell you
That's
something.
that's good, Shia, because one of the things that you said was your value with like worth, like, right, being vulnerable because of your worth. And mine was always value, because with me I didn't know my value, and in being vulnerable, I used, and I still do. I love being vulnerable because I always was seen before I was heard. So people saw me before they heard me, and knew that I actually got some common sense and a brain up top, and I can actually, speak fluently and very well at that. And I was always lusted after before loyalty came to me. So I was always seen for how I looked in my body, so I attracted that. I attracted lust, because of how I looked. So I always got hurt because I thought that it was loyalty that was coming. I thought that it was somebody who, really valued me, who saw more than just the face or the body, I'm thinking they saw me. You know what I'm saying? So when they didn't treat me as though I was valuable or I was more than just my outer shell, it really affected me in ways that I've never really dealt with. And I had to sit with myself, and it's like, Whitney, what is really missing? Like, what is it? Because beauty is so much more than skin deep. It's so much more than skin deep. And so many times, being a woman, it's almost like people shame you for even being a woman. You can't even be vulnerable in being a woman because, God forbid you like makeup. God forbid, you like to dress up, and play in clothes and play in shoes and heels. God forbid you love being a woman. You attract some of everything. You attract the mess. And it's hard enough trying to wean out the good from the bad, the ones who just have lip service and they show themselves to be this type of man, but then their actions don't coincide. And then it's kind of like, for me, being vulnerable and being like having knowing my value and being vulnerable, it brought me to a place of, once again, when we talk about identity, because who I was on the outside wasn't who I was on the inside. Who I was on the inside was this hippie boho chick, like I love nature. I love being outside. I love all things, but I don't look like I like being outside. I don't look like I like nature. So it's like, then I attracted these dudes who were attracted to my outer shell. But then when they got to know my inner and started seeing more of me, it's like, wait a minute, this girl is she matched my persona on the outside, but she ain't really with the stuff I'm with on the inside. And then the people who was, who I was on the inside, they outside, was kind of, crazy. It was kind of crazy. We just gonna call it what it is. It was kind of crazy. So it's like, God, how do I be vulnerable and still stay true to myself? How do I be vulnerable and still stay true to you, who you created me to be? And it's like, then I become this vulnerable person, and I'm always becoming this vulnerable person to the wrong people. So it's like, God, like, once again, is it me? It goes back to, is it me and you not feeling like you're enough? You're not feeling your vulnerability. Is it even worth it? Because I'm sitting here, like you said, I'm pouring out everything, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm showing up, I'm going to work, I'm making good money. I'm doing all of the things, and it's still not enough. I'm giving you back rubs. I'm trying to massage your beard. I'm trying to talk to you and say, hey baby, what can I do? How was your day today? I'm giving you this soft girl. The rest of the world get this thug. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the world get the G. They get the G with me, but you're getting the softer parts of me, and it's still not enough. It's still not enough. So what happens when your vulnerability becomes your enemy?
That's a good question, Whitney. Listen, let me just say this because I don't want to forget the thought that came. That is so surreal about that, your vulnerability becoming your enemy, because again, you will because your vulnerability, you being vulnerable, was used against you with those people that you trusted. It makes you say, okay, well, I ain't never telling nobody else nothing again, because the last guy I told this, and this, he used it against me and still hurt me. So I can understand exactly where you're coming from when you say that. But also, I wanted to go back to something that Ashia was talking about when she mentioned how, the family always want to tell you, they want you to sweep everything under the rug, and the family is always the one to tell you what happens in this house, stay in this house. Oh, you strong, you don't cry, this, that, and the third. Your family is the first one to teach you how to suppress your feelings. And
Yep.
that is why so many people are bound and cannot be loose, because the stigma and the things that were taught in the home was for you to not say anything. But
What happens in this house stays in this house.
Jesus, this is so good.
But we are in a time and in a different season. You know what? No, we ain't sweeping this up under the rug no more. Let's break it up. Let's hold some people accountable.
We finna add all that.
That's what's wrong with society now. Nobody wants to be held accountable. Everybody wants to act like we walking on eggshells and nobody can tell the truth. No, let's talk the truth. Let's live in the truth and let's address it the right way. But again, sometimes, because if you don't know how to operate in emotional intelligence, you'll allow your emotions to supersede and you'll never get anywhere.
Yes.
No, let's reason here and talk about fact and logic. What's logical? But those conversations people don't want to have. Those are conversations people want to just keep on. You want the victim mentality. You can't play victim all your life. You got to take some type of accountability. Something got to be done here. But that takes growth. That takes inner work. That takes a lot of tools like therapy and things like that to help you be able to navigate and get through what is actually happening and taking place. But you gotta get yourself in a position where I don't care how vulnerable I'm being. I don't care the thoughts of what you think. I need to let this out because this is helping me. I want what's going to help me and help me keep my sanity, honey, and keep my mind right and my face clear and my skin looking good. I don't want to be stressed up, worried, and bound. That's not a good look for me. So
or they don't want to talk about it because you got to dig up them generations. Okay, you got to go back generations. You now I got to talk about your mama. If you want to just lay it on out, I don't sugarcoat it. We got to talk about your mama because your mama the one who raised you. Okay, so now we need to go back to your mama because your mama raised you. That your mama made you think that what you was doing was okay. Your mama never held you accountable, but your mama want me to hold you accountable. No sir, no sir. I'm not your mama. I'm your wife. Hello, huh?
Come on.
Yeah, that was never my job. That was never my job. That was never my job. And so many times we assume the position of Christ. So many times we like to play Jesus. Girl, let me tell you something. We love to play Jesus. And even though we are called to walk like him, we made in his image, all of that good stuff. Honey, I will never be him. I will never be great God because I will never be perfect. I would never be I would never be out. I want to live right. I want to live up to the standard that God set for me, but I know that I will never be him. So sometimes we assume the position of Jesus, and baby, you can't bear that burden. You can't bear the cross. You can't bear the burden of the world. So you sit here and you say, well, maybe I just got to be right here with him. Maybe I just got to show him agape love. Maybe I just got to send him back to his mama. Send him back to his mama because he needs some more home training. Huh? Send him back to his daddy because his daddy should have been there. Huh? Send him, get down on your knees and give him back to Jesus. Give him back to Jesus. That's the best place for him. That's the best thing you can do, baby, is pray for him. Pray for him because you can't do it. You can't do it. And you're going to burn yourself out around here trying to be Jesus. And if for those of y'all who listening who don't know who Jesus is, baby, that's the female version of Jesus. That's what my mama called a female version of Jesus. You around here trying to play Jesus, honey, that's not your name. That's not your name nor your position. Mm-hmm. Give them back, lay them at the altar, boo. Lay them at the altar. Trust me, I've been there. I tried to sit here and I tried to mend me. I tried to mend my child. I tried to mend my relationship. I tried to mend my marriage. I'm putting on all of this stuff. Let me tell you something. The songwriter Erykah Badu, honey, she's a minister in the spirit. She said, bag lady. Okay, you gonna hurt your back. Dragging all them bags like that. You gonna miss your bus. You are gonna miss you can't even get to your bus because you around here dragging all them back. Lay them at the altar, boo. I'm telling you, this your big sister talking. Lay them at the altar because what's gonna end up happening, honey? You haven't been eating. Now I'm concerned about your health, baby. You haven't been dressing up. You haven't been being yourself because you so busy running around this man, honey. Your eye bags turning black. You got bags up under your eyes. Your edges is growing thin. I'm concerned about you. You know why? Because you're depreciating. You're depreciating because he's sucking you dry. This whole situation is sucking you dry. And I know you don't want to hear it because you love him. I know you don't want to hear it because, baby, you took a vow too. I know you don't want to hear it because you want to show him agape love. But, baby, he's sucking you dry. You don't even know your favorite cereal anymore, honey. What do you like to eat? Huh?
Ooh,
What do
girl,
you
'cause
like to eat? When is the last time you been to the gym? You not even taking care of your body. You not even taking care of your body no more. You done laid down and said, devil, have your way. How dare you? How dare you? No, baby, you got to get up. You got to get up. I'm sorry, boo. You got to get up. Lay him at the altar. It's an altar call. Lay him at the altar, boo.
come on, come on.
Send him back to his mama house. Huh? Pack them bags. You got to go. You listen. You got to go. You can't stay here acting the way
Mm,
that you acting. You got to get your act together around me. You got to come on up a little higher. I don't know what the other one's been accepting from you, but this ain't that and that ain't this. I'm
come
sorry.
on, come on, come on. It's like you just
Not over here. You need boundaries. You need boundaries because the simple fact that you don't have boundaries, they walking away with all of your stuff. They
mm-hmm,
walking away with all of your stuff. I seen a
mm-hmm.
lady who was suing her husband because she say that he took her best years, and I ain't gonna hold you. I don't blame her. I don't blame, because let me tell you something. No, let's talk about it because we're women. Let's talk about it. When you're in love, you give your all. You
Oh,
give your all. Whatever that man want. He listen, he wants you to be a boy peanut. You try to sit there and try to form and try to become a boy peanut because that's what he like to eat.
Mm,
You give your
mm,
all to this man, honey, and you lose yourself.
mm,
You lose yourself for the sake of love. That's why they say love makes you stupid. Love can make
mm-hmm.
you delusional sometimes, and it should not be like that when it's right. When it's right. But baby, when you don't know that it's right, and when you're not in the right type of love, the type of love that your heavenly father wants for you, honey, you end up depreciating. You end up losing yourself. You end up carrying on all of this weight, all of this stress that you keep deep down inside. And guess what? It shows up as sickness. We wonder why so many of us are going through sicknesses and diseases, honey. That's because you keeping it balled up on the inside. That's because you keep on saying one day it'll get better. When is that day? When is that day gonna come? Huh? When are you gonna reap your reward? When are you gonna be able to exhale? You got to be frozen, boo, and let it go.
okay.
Ooh, baby. All right, honey. Woo!
Preach it, baby.
Yeah.
Preach it.
Come on,
Okay,
Holy
I
Spirit.
want to go this direction real quick though. This direction real quick. Okay, because I want to go back to what happens when your vulnerability becomes your enemy. But I also want to tie that into, you know, um, when you change how you show up for people, and then you start becoming, blamed for it, because okay, how my mind was going. I started showing up differently when it comes to people because I have been vulnerable, because I opened up, because I let you in. And then you turn around and hurt me, or you do something that would make me put up this guard and not want to be vulnerable with you. I've experienced that with family, and I've experienced that with people who, come into my life because I am, I have a big heart. I think that people, at first I'm open, but then, your actions caused me to change. So even
Yeah.
when it came to, family, when I went home, so much, after my brother passed, so much was happening to me at the same time. I literally felt like I was losing everyone who was close to me. I lost my dad, I lost my best friend, I lost my brother. I actually lost two best friends. And I was going through a lot of transitions. Then my money and finances started getting, changed or whatever. So losing my money, losing I went into a depression. And even, I started even changing how I was showing up or being around family members because, when you're down, basically I had a lot of money stolen from me. And because, I was the bigger person, I was just, letting it go. But then I found out this person had not received a whole bunch of money. And you don't paid everybody else around the world, but you stole my money. You took from me when I had nothing, when I was at my lowest point. And you didn't want to pay me my money back. But then I ended up, I didn't curse her, but I ended up going off. You're going to feel what I'm feeling right now. And then that changed not only how that person behaved with me, but it affected how other people in the family was like behaving behind with when it comes to me. It's like I'm the one who was hurt. I'm the one who was lied to. I'm the one who was stolen from. But then because I finally, share my voice, I finally have a voice even when it comes to this situation. Y'all are looking at me different. Y'all having side conversations about me behind my back. Y'all the ones who, if you're not in it, other family members may not notice the little slight remark, or the look that you give me, or the disgust when I walk into the room, or how when I walk into the room gets quiet because I know you was just talking about me. And people don't understand that. So because it wasn't happening to you, you wouldn't know why I changed the way that I was acting, the way that I was behaving, if I showed up, because I'm the one who's going through this. You're not going through this. And even when it comes to, opening up to other people, I've had it where I'm at first I'm an open book. I'm gonna share and tell you whatever you want to know. I don't care. But when I see that you changed, when I see that you're using what I've shared with you, against me, you're using it in prayers. You're saying little slick remarks. You just like, you turn into a whole different person. You throwing it at me trying to be funny. You using it, and I hear it from somebody else. But I shared that with you. I didn't share that with them, so I know you talking about me. But then once I start backing off, it's the question of, why is I'm the victim now. I'm the victim. She's changed how she's behaving with me. But you're the cause of that. Because I was open with you, because I was sharing and I was loving. But then once I start detaching myself from you in that situation, I'm the bad person. But we have to sometimes start taking accountability. I'm not going to keep letting you in to hurt me. Yes, I can be vulnerable with you. Yes, I can share with you, but that does not mean you dictate how I interact with you. You dictate how I share with you. You dictate that. So if something has changed in our relationship, in the communication, in anything with me being vulnerable or even sharing with you, ask yourself, what have I done? Ask yourself, can you even ask me? Are you willing to even ask me, what have I done? And sometimes you have to be wary about even someone coming to you asking you, because people love to play mind games. They love to be manipulative. Oh, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Or I didn't mean it that way. But your actions, your repeated actions, the repeated things that you're saying is what's showing me who you are and your character. You trying to gaslight me even in the conversation of trying to heal and have that conversation. That don't work for me. So now I'm not going to say anything to you. Now I'm not going to bring anything up to you because I know what's coming. So people need to start taking accountability on even how they act, because that dictates how someone even shows up and shares with you and is vulnerable with you.
And people not gonna be accountable because guess what? If I take accountability, that means I got to admit that I was wrong. And that pride is in the way from admitting that I may have been wrong. I possibly did something that I shouldn't have did that caused you harm or made you feel some type of way. So now I got to apologize, and I don't do that. I don't apologize. Think about it, right? And that's a perfect example because, for example, like from with me personally, I'm always the type, like if I got it, you got it. That's with my friendships, relationships. I'm just a all in type of person. If I say I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you till the wheels fall off. Can't nobody tell me about you. That's just it, you know. And I'm a giver. I'm a giver, so I would never not, give. And I remember because I was like that, a person I was in a relationship that who I was in a relationship in with said that I was a people pleaser, right? And yeah, that might have been a little bit of truth, because I was still finding myself. I was still discovering who I was, but at the core of me, I'm a good person. I'm a giver. So if you like put that as me being a people pleaser, I take it. But because that I was a people pleaser, he felt as though okay, he could do whatever, and I wasn't going nowhere because I was a people pleaser. Huh? Ask me what happened now.
Gone to the kick to the
Oh,
curb.
okay. I guess I don't people please that much, huh? But you have to be careful though who you let in. You have to be careful who you have in your inner circle. You have to be careful of the relationships in which you're inserting yourself in. And this all comes from being vulnerable, because sometimes when somebody see your vulnerability, okay, she's a giver, she's somebody, she gonna have your back, she gonna rock with you till the wheels fall off. That don't mean that you can treat me any type of way. That don't mean that you can do whatever and I'll still be around or I'll still be present. That don't mean that you can take my kindness for weakness. That don't mean that you can take advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like, you have to not only have boundaries, but you also have to know when and where to express your vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't safe.
Listen,
Listen, listen, this has been such a great conversation tonight. I am like, yeah, this was a conversation that needed to be had,
The
and
warfare be just proof that it's about to be fire.
yes, when I tell you the warfare every single time lets us know that what we are doing, what we are sharing, the conversations that we are having with those around us, you know what? It's meaningful. It has a purpose. It's to push you outside of your comfort zone and get you into a place where you are getting healed. We want you to be healed. We want you to be whole. And what we most importantly want you to do is what First Peter 5:7 says, is cast your cares to the Lord because he cares for you. God cares about your feelings. So when you're feeling these feelings and you have these vulnerabilities and you have these insecurities and you have these things that you don't feel like you can share with other people, share it with God. He cares about it. He wants to hear about every single thing that you are going through, because he wants to know that. Whitney said it earlier here. You keep going to your friends with the conversation, but are you going to God? Because he's the one that's going to do something about it. He's going to do more than they could ever do for you about your situation. So make sure you cast your cares to the Lord because he cares for you. Listen, I want you guys to make sure that you share this live. Also, you can catch the replay on Spotify and our YouTube channel. Make sure you guys are following us on all social platforms, Set Free Sisterhood. This isn't just a right now thing. This is a movement. We want to be able to go from city to city, state to state, country to country, to share this with people, with women. We want you to be set free. We want you to be a part of this sisterhood where we can come together. We can love on each other. We can love each other through our faults. We can love each other
yes.
through our shortcomings. We can stick with each other and stick by each other through whatever it is that we're going through. But the most importantly, we want to make sure that you're getting what you need so that you can be set free. Because we don't just talk, we break chains. So we will catch you guys next week. You guys have a blessed, prosperous, and beautiful week. And again, follow us on all social platforms and share this live. Share it with a family member. Share it with a friend. Somebody needs to hear this conversation. Somebody needs to hear it, and we want you to share it. Do you ladies have anything else to say?
Nope. Even if you've received, that's the least you can do. Just share, because it can be, even if it's not for you at the moment, it could be for you later. You can go back and watch it. Even if it's not for you, it can be for someone on your timeline. We all need to know that we are not going through these things alone. We all need to go through the healing process. So this is just helping us, push out the message, push out, that healing is necessary, it's possible, and we're just trying to help you heal and become the person who God has called and created you to be. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye.